Howdy, and welcome to the first of potentially many Unreal Engine 5 tutorials. A couple days ago, I put out a community posting if you guys would want to see some Unreal Engine 5 tutorials, whether it be for normal PC or in VR, and it seemed like a majority of you wanted to see these tutorials. And I think as of making this video, I have one person who asked for VR, so we're going to start there. In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to take the VR template that Unreal Engine gives you and change the character's movement from teleport and snap turn to smooth walking, or locomotion, and smooth turning. Now, quick warning before we continue, you have to hook up your headset to your PC the right way so you can use it within Unreal Engine. Now, depending on your headset, that'll depend on what you have to do, so go look up how to do that for your headset and get it all linked up, and then come on back. Alright, so we have the VR template loaded up in Unreal Engine 5. First thing I want to do is disable the teleportation and snap turn functions within the player pawn. To do that, go ahead and open up your content drawer or your content browser. And if you're not in the VR template folder, go ahead and open up VR template and then go over to blueprints and find VRPawn. Now, inside the VRPawn, you're going to have a whole bunch of blueprints that are already there because of the template. It's not going to look like this at all. Because I have OCD and perfectionist problems, I made it a bit more easier to see, and then I organized it, because if I didn't organize it, I would not be able to focus on this tutorial. But either way, just find snap turn and teleport, and we're going to disable these by removing the nodes here. To do that, just hold Alt and left click the node, and it'll detach them. Now, the snap turn and the teleport they're null. They don't work at the moment because nothing's attached. Now, before we can get into actually blueprinting the movement, we have to have an input action so the program knows what we're trying to do. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to come over to our content browser again, go to VR template, go to input, and go to actions. Now in here, you're already going to see a slew of actions that have been pre-made because of the template, but we're going to add our own. We're going to add 3 of them actually. Right click in an empty space, go to input action, or to input, then input action. I'm going to name this IA underscore locomotion X. Make another one called IA locomotion Y. And I'm going to make one more called IA smooth turn. Now you can name these whatever, as long as you can remember them, because you're going to have to call these several times. So we're going to open up each one of these. If I can do it. There we go. And we're going to give them, all 3 of them, pretty much the same values. So we're going to change value type from a digital boolean to a axis 1D float. And then we're going to add a modifier by hitting this plus icon and changing the drop down to dead zone. Now, if you don't know what a dead zone is, it's pretty much the area that your joystick can move before it starts to give input. So we're going to add those 2 things to all 3 of them. Axis 1D, dead zone, and axis 1D, and dead zone. Now, for the dead zone, if you really want to, you can come into the index, or just hit the arrow next to index. You can change the threshold, but I found that the default works perfectly. All right, so I'm going to save those, close all of those. Now, we're still not done just yet. What we have to do now is go back to input, and then we're going to open IMC default. This is where we're going to actually give those input actions a mapping. So we'll hit the plus icon here. Find your x-axis. I named mine locomotion X. Hit the drop down here. Hit the drop down here. And now we can give that mapping. Now it depends on what headset you're using. I'm using the Quest 3, so I'm going to go into the Oculus Touch. If you're using any of the Oculus programs, or any of the Oculus headsets, it's going to be the Oculus Touch. If you're using the Vive, you go here. If you're using the Index, you can go here. But I'm going to hit the drop down on Oculus Touch, and I'm going to have my movement on my left thumbstick and have my turning on my right thumbstick. So I'm going to look for Oculus Touch left, that's what the L's for, thumbstick x-axis. Obviously I'm putting the x-axis on Locomotion X. Now the cool thing is, if you're going to be deploying your game on multiple headsets, say you're also going to deploy it on the Vive and the Index, you can hit this plus icon and add those controllers under Locomotion X, so when the game is being played on a different headset, your functionalities still work. Because if I deployed this with just the Oculus Touch here, and it was on an Index, it would not pick up their input because they're not playing on an Oculus Touch. Alright, so we're going to add our Locomotion Y. And I'm going to find Oculus Touch left thumbstick Y-axis. Then we're going to add one more, which is my smooth turn. And this one's going to be my Oculus Touch right thumbstick x-axis. I'm putting on the x-axis because I want to be able to turn left and right. If I put it on the y-axis, then it's going to turn up and down, and we don't want that. Alright, at least not for this. If your game calls for that, go for it. Alright, so I'm going to save, and we're done there. And back into the VRPawn, we can finally blueprint what we need to make this happen. So we're going to right-click, call our Locomotion X, or whatever you named it. Off of triggered here, I'm going to drag off and add movement input. Now we have two inputs that we're going to need here, world direction and scale value. Now, world direction, very self-explanatory. It's the direction you're going to move when you move your thumbstick on the x-axis. Now, if you've played many VR games, you've probably noticed that most of the VR games, at least the ones I've come across, like to base their movement based off of the head direction. So if I'm holding forward on my joystick, I'll start moving forward, and if I look left, I'll start moving left. Now, if you've seen my videos and have been paying attention, you would know that I have a tick, and that tick is in my neck head area, so it causes involuntary movement in my head. So I don't usually like that setting. I usually like the settings where it just goes based off the controller. Can I play the games? Of course I can. I just kind of push past it and whatever. But I do prefer it off of the controller. But I'm going to show you how to program it for both. It's a very easy change. So for the controller, I'm going to find my motion controller left. Now I'm using left just because my movement's on the left, but if your movement is programmed for your right thumbstick, maybe you want to grab the motion controller right. Off of this, I'm going to get right vector and take the return value of our right vector and plug that into world direction. Now, if you wanted to base this off of the direction your head is looking, then you just take camera and plug that into get right vector. So very, very easy change if you change your mind. Okay? Now the last thing we gotta input is our scale value. Now technically you can just take your action value and plug it into scale value, and that will work. But maybe you don't like the speed of it, or you're unsure of how fast you're going to want your character to move. So in that case, we're gonna do something a little different. So first thing we're gonna do is gonna detach scale value here. And I'm going to create two variables. First one, I'm gonna call movement speed. Second one, I'm going to call turn speed. And then I'm going to change these from boolean to a float for both of them. Once you hit compile, you'll be able to add values to them. For movement speed, I think I'm just going to set it to 1 for now. For turn speed, I think I'm going to set it to 2. Now, right here, I'm going to right click and get a multiply. I'm going to take the output node and connect that to our scale value. I'm going to take action value, connect that to our first node here. And actually, I'm going to open this up a bit and make it easier to see. And then for our bottom value here, I'm going to take our movement speed and plug that in. There we go. Now, to do the y-axis, it's pretty much this exact same thing minus changing one thing, or technically changing two. So I'm just going to copy this, come over here, paste it. First thing we're going to change is get rid of this because we don't want it on the x-axis. We want it on the y-axis. and connect that to our movement input. And then instead of get right vector, we're going to get forward vector and plug the return value into our world direction. And then our action value back into our multiply. Okay, and there we go. The movement portion of the tutorial is pretty much done. That's pretty much all you need. Nice thing about having movement speed in a variable as well is now, say you want your character to move faster, or whatever the case may be, you can just change the movement speed value here, and it'll change it for both of them instead of having to go through and change it twice. Now the last thing we're going to need is our smooth turn. Again, very easy to do. We're just going to right click, call our value, smooth turn, or our event, call our event. Off of triggered, we're going to get actor, set actor world rotation. Now off of this, you're going to notice a delta rotation. The delta rotation has the X, Y, and Z value, but we don't want to change all three values. We just want to change the Z value. So we have to split this open. Very easy to do. Just right click it and split struct pin. Now we can plug directly into the Z value here. We're going to right click, get another multiply, plug this into Z here, action value into the first node, and our turn speed into the second node. And there we go. Our smooth turn is done. All right, everything's completed, but if you've tried to run it, you would notice that it's still not working. And that's because we have to make a few changes within the VRPawn itself. First thing you're going to want to do is go to class settings up here. I already changed it, but yours is going to be set default to pawn. You're going to want to click the drop down and change it to character, like I did here. Second thing we're going to do is go to our viewport and click on VR origin and set your location here. It's going to be here. Set your location on the z-axis here to -88. And that sets the origin to the floor. We do this because, now, don't take my word 100% on this. I know you have to do this, but the reasoning behind it, I don't know 100%. But to what I understand, the game reads that as the starting position, or the default ground position. So if you start with your headset here, it's going to make your height taller. I know that will happen for a fact. So if we left this at 0 and hit play, we would be like way up here. So by setting the origin to the floor, it will allow everything to align perfectly. Now the last thing we need to do is click on VRPawn here. In the search bar here, you can look for rotation. That's not how you spell that. And you're going to find use controller rotation yaw. Uncheck that. We don't want that checked. Now you can compile and we can test it. Okay, so we're in our little VR world and our movement is working perfect. Now this is a Epic Games, what do they call it? It's one of their free packs. I just loaded that into my world and did some adjusting. That's pretty much the whole thing. Very easy, very quick. If you have any ideas for other things you'd like to see or learn about, or you're not too sure on how to perform, comment down below and I'll see what I can do and what I can make and teach you.